going to run through using the new version of Scratch, Scratch 3.0, how to make the Mr. Wiggly's Dance application. This is from the Scratch 2.0 for Teens textbook. You can find information about that book in the comments below. So let's begin. The first thing we need to do is we need to create a new project. There's a couple ways to do that. Easiest way is when you log into Scratch, you can just go up here to create, and now we're starting something new. For this program, it requires a backdrop, and anytime you want to add a backdrop, something other than this white, you're going to go down here. It's now in the bottom right here, underneath where it says Stage, and you're going to go here and choose a backdrop. Now, the backdrop for this particular application is called Chalkboard. So that's right here. I'm just going to click on it, and now we have this backdrop. Since we don't need that plain white backdrop anymore, I'm just going to click here on Backdrops underneath Stage. Click on the Backdrops tab, and I'm just going to use this trash icon on backdrop 1, the blank white backdrop, and delete that. So now we just have the only backdrop we need. So the next thing we need to do is we need to get the correct sprite for this program. We're not going to use the cat sprite. So to get a new sprite, I'm going to go down here where it says Choose Sprite, and I'm just going to click there. And the sprite we need is a little monkey, and I'm going to filter, just go to the animals here, and then should be able to scroll down, and it's the monkey sprite you need right here. The fact that when I scroll over it and you see it sort of moving, that tells me that it has multiple costumes. It's just something it's good to know about the sprite. So I'm going to click on that, and now I have this monkey sprite. I don't need the generic cat sprite anymore, so I'm going to click on that, and once again click on the trash icon and get rid of that guy. So now we have the sprite and the backdrop that we need. Now for this program, there's going to be a song that's played, and so what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to go here to the backdrop, and I'm actually going to add the song to the backdrop. So after I've clicked on the stage, I'm going to go to Sounds. It comes with a generic pop sound. We don't need that, so once again, just go ahead and trash it. And I'll click down here. It's in the lower left. It's kind of behind my head, but so we're going to choose a sound. And I am looking for, let's see if it's called the same thing. Yeah, okay, eggs. So it's this sort of silly little march tune. So I'm going to add that. And now we have the background music that we want. So that's been added to the stage. Okay, for this, we're now going to want to play the music, and all this program is going to do is the little monkey character is going to move around, sort of in a dance, while the music plays. So I want to make sure I'm in the script area for the stage, because that's where the sound file is, and I'm going to get an event. All this is going to start when the green flag is clicked, so I'm going to pop that into the script area, and then I'm going to go to Control, and we're just going to loop this forever. So once it starts, it's going to keep going. And then I'm going to go to the sound options, and the easy way to do this is just to do the play sound eggs until done. What that's going to do is when I click the green flag, it's going to start playing and continue playing all the way through, and then repeat when it's done. Now, the original textbook that this is from sort of did it in another way, which I don't think is quite as necessary because it requires 2 blocks. But what they did instead was they used the start sound. And if you just use the start sound in the forever block, it's not going to play, or sometimes it might give you a little like clicking noise. So, because it's just trying to keep starting the sound and it can't play all those sounds mashed together. So the other thing they added in the book was they added a wait block underneath. And they looked at the sound and saw that it was 15.25 seconds, so they just said, oh, and then wait 15.25 seconds. And then the same thing happens. Okay. I don't think it's necessary to use this wait block since we already have this single block that that does two things in one. So but that is another option. There's often more than one way to do the same thing. So I'll throw that away and just use this guy. All right. The last part of this is to add the movements to the Mr. Wiggly character, or the monkey character. So now, to do this, I need to now add some scripts to the monkey, and so I'm going to click on that sprite. And now notice that there's no code here, okay? Because the code I added was on the backdrop. So for this, once again, we're gonna create another loop. So I'm gonna go back to events and say when the green flag is clicked, go to control, grab the forever loop, and then we're gonna move him to the right a few times, move him to the left a few times, and then back to the center. So the way that's gonna look is we're just going to use this motion block, and we're going to move him. We're going to move him 25 steps. And then, because we don't want to do everything all at once, we're then going to place in a wait block and have him wait 2 seconds. And then we're going to do that again. So to duplicate that, I'm just going to right-click on the move, and when I duplicate it, it duplicates everything that was below that, so both the move block and the wait block, and then I'm going to add that in there. Okay. Now, one thing to be careful of is sometimes when you click on a script like this, it'll start going. So I'm just going to stop that. Then we're going to have him move back, okay, to the left. And so I'm going to do this again, right click, duplicate, plug that in there. Okay, it keeps moving on me. One thing to note is, this can happen early on is where your sprite starts moving off the screen, and if I start it again, he would move off the screen and then try to move back. So one thing I can do is I can go back to the motion blocks, and I can just go here in the go to, I can just say go to 0, 0, and that'll just send him back to the middle of the screen. Or you can just, click him and drag him back to where I want him to go. I actually want him to be on the floor. So, all right. So what did I do here? So I've got him moving, I only want him moving twice to the right, and then I want to move him twice to the left. So he's already facing the right, so let's go ahead and change this to negative 25 steps and another negative 25 steps. And actually what's going to happen is he's going to move twice to the right, twice to the left to move him back to the center, and then twice to the left again, and then twice to the right, so he ends up back at the center after everything. So I'm going to, we want to move to the left again, so I'm going to duplicate these 4 blocks. And actually, so this doesn't trigger again, let's see if I can't move this out here. Duplicate, so I get these 4 blocks, the moving into the left. Stop moving there. And then we'll just duplicate those bottom 2 blocks again. Stop, don't do that. And I'm going to have these last 2 blocks be just moving 25 back to the right. The reason that moving him 25 is moving to the right, and moving him negative 25 is moving him back to the left, is because if we look here, his direction is 90 degrees, which means he's pointing to the right. All right, so now I've got him twice to the right, 4 times to the left, and then twice back to the right. So that should put him back to the center. So if I move him back where I want it to start, and we click the green flag, the music starts, it's playing in the background. You can see that here. And then he's moving. And then it goes back to the center. And then it all starts over again. So that's the basics of this. Now, as a first program, we're just using some very basic blocks. We could go into more detail of, maybe we could, if you want, you could throw in some repeat blocks rather than sort of repeating yourself here. Or, another option is in case the direction wasn't right or got changed somewhere else in the program. Sometimes these change X blocks could work as well. That's one of the fun things about Scratch is you can try things and experiment and sort of see what happens. All right. So the last thing in this program is we do a little color effect, and then we let Mr. Wiggly, the monkey, say something. Okay. So the color effects, it's going to change the way he looks, so it's in these purple looks blocks. We'll scroll down here. And we're going to use this change color effects block. And one thing to note is there is a drop-down menu, and there's a bunch of different things that other types of visual effects that can be used with this block. It's kind of a fun one to experiment with and see what happens. But this one, we just want to change the color, and so that every time through, his color changes a little bit more. And then finally, we're going to have him say something. And the say blocks are in the looks blocks because it's not a sound that he's making. We actually get to see a little bubble with him saying it. And we're going to throw this down in here. And I want him to say, one more time. Because he changes colors, a little embarrassed, and he thinks, you know what, let's do this again. And we'll just leave it in there saying that for 2 seconds. Okay. So, what you want to do now is if you've been following along and doing this, is you want to test it, make sure it works. And once again, what should happen is you should press the green flag, hear the music, see him move to the right, back to the left, back to the middle, change colors, and say something. And then it should happen again. Changes color, says something, and then we go through it again. And if we went through this again, which I'm not going to for right now, we would see him change to a new color, say the message again, and it would continue. All right. So the last thing when you make a project is you want to go to the project page that's up here at the top of the screen. I'm going to click on that. I want to give this a title. Mr. Wiggly's Dance from Scratch 2.0 for teens. Once again, that's the textbook at Scratch Programming 2.0 for teens. A little old, but still has some great things if you're learning Scratch. I'm going to share this, so I want to leave some instructions. Click the green flag to start the dance. I don't know if it's really a dance, it's just some basic move blocks. And then I'm going to go ahead and just mention down here this project is from Chapter 4 of the Scratch Programming 2.0 for Teens textbook. And then I share it. So, as soon as you've got an account, you've confirmed your email address, you can share your programs, and so that others can see your programs and you can visit other people's programs. So that's the Mr. Wiggly's Dance, now using the new Scratch 3.0. and hopefully I'll have future projects from this textbook added to my channel with using the new version of Scratch. Thank you very much.